with some of the design decisions that you made, like regarding Ajna, were there any like types of investors or types of traders or DeFi natives that you excluded from the protocol's design, or is it pretty much all inclusive?
It's completely permissionless, and anybody with an Ethereum address can use Ajna.
Right, and whether they're institutional, retail, common man, whatever it is like they can definitely find some value in the ecosystem, or at least
Yeah,
on the protocol.
the protocol is agnostic to who is using it because it's just code. And we think that it's simple and flexible enough for pretty much any type of user to bend it to their needs and use it the way they want to.
When it comes to cross chain deployments, is that like any like are there any problems involved in that sense? Like I think Ethereum is the first network that you guys would be launching on, but when it comes to either going Arbitrum or Avalanche and stuff, is that like a pretty simple process?
Yeah, so we face two hurdles when examining L2s, and we do plan to launch on the majority of L2s because we don't need to have a connection between the main chain and that other one. Every Ajna pool is isolated, so we could just redeploy the protocol, which is a relatively simple process. Where it gets tricky is that one, we need a canonical bridge. So it's very hard for us to go to side chains. So for instance, it's hard for us to go to some place like Binance Smart Chain because their bridge, we don't know that it's going to be there in 10 years. And as I mentioned, the way that Ajna gains utility is by buying reserves. But if the bridge goes away, you actually lose the address of the Ajna token on the other chain, and you forfeit all future revenue. So it's much better if it's a proper L2 that's bonded to the Ethereum mainnet, for instance, like an optimistic rollup or a ZK rollup. The other hurdle is that we wrote this in Solidity, therefore it is optimized for the Ethereum virtual machine. Therefore, it can only go on Ethereum L2s. It can't go somewhere like Solana.
Damn, man. Sorry, Solana guys. I'm sure it's coming soon.
Hmm. So Solana doesn't get any love these days anyway, so it's fine.
It's got a few, man. I think I listened to damn, what's it called? I think Empire the other day, and the multi coin cap guys were talking it up with some decent arguments. I must say. So I reckon Solana's gonna have a resurgence soon. But yeah, I appreciate the answer, man. Thank you, great.
I think Solana is a fine protocol, by the way. It's just, when you write your protocol for a certain virtual machine, it is all but impossible to port it over to a different one. So unless they added EVM compatibility, which I think they're working on, like we physically just can't deploy them.
Yeah. So are you even so if one was to compile the EVM code or the Solidity code for Ajna into a different language, would you predict that there's a whole bunch of bugs in there?
I'm not sophisticated enough to know the answer. I know that I probably wouldn't even try because I would just assume the answer is yes.
I got you. Cheers.